Salutations, podcasters. This was a very slow news week.
Boo!
But we still came up with an episode.
Yay!
This week, we give our review of X-Men Days of Future Past, and we sponsor a celebrity. So sit back and consume this knowledge. Back to episode 3 of Two Nerds and a Dude. My name is Mike. To my left, I have...
Your left or my left?
Yeah, my left. My left.
Oh, I'm to your right.
Yes, you're to my right.
Okay. Yes, I am Brandon. And right in front of me is Jules.
Yo, guys. It's me, Jules. And I'm glad you're listening again.
Yeah,
just so you guys,
I'm pretty happy.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just so you guys know, like we spent the last 2 hours trying to troubleshoot our audio.
Oh gosh.
And we were just like, yeah, we're ready to do this. And then we come to realize there's a blonde moment, and all the audio is coming through Jules' laptop instead of
my bad. I forgot to change the whole setting thing. Here's the thing: we want to make this podcast sound better and better every week, and it's trial and error. So, hopefully, you guys appreciate the fact that we're trying to make it sound better. I'm sure that there's still some tweaking to do, but anyways, that's a little geeky moment.
Okay, so with that being said, Jules, what did you do this week?
I did absolutely nothing. Actually,
sounds
no.
About right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. No, I actually saw a movie this weekend. I know I typically don't see movies, right? I know I'm kind of a hermit, but I enjoy my Netflix and streaming my movies. But I saw a movie and went out to the club. Got a little too tipsy, and
no, he didn't.
Yeah, I did, and then I suffered the next day. Memorial Day, by the way, guys, was awesome, but it's even better when you're not hungover. Oh my god.
What about you, Brandon? What did you do?
Let's see. I worked out. I also did go to the movies, so that was pretty good. I also rented a bunch of Redbox movies. I got to catch up with some movies I haven't seen before, so it was pretty good. Pretty good weekend. I enjoyed it. Mike, what did you do, bruh?
I grinded it out with the whole comedian thing, just kept hitting up open mics one after another. Just an entire roller coaster of crappy sets.
I was gonna say that sounds really exciting. But
No, it's just you gotta love the bomb, and I bombed up pretty much almost every set.
What's Alfred say? Why do we fall?
Because we can sue the person who pushed us down.
So we can pick ourselves back up again.
You and your knowledge for movies. I also watched UFC 173. It was an epic fight. One of the greatest upsets of UFC history. TJ Dillashaw dethroned the champion Henan Barrow in the undisputed bantamweight championship of the world. Henan Barrow went into this fight 33 win streak.
What was what's the martial arts background on both? What do you say? Both fighters?
Both fighters.
My bad.
Both fighters. I would say Henan Barrow is more of a all-around type of striker. He's just he's just a striker. Whereas TJ Dillashaw, he's getting much training from his now former coach, Dwayne Bang Ludwig. Yeah.
That's a tough name to
pronounce.
pronounce.
Yeah, it is.
But it was just it was an upset. It took the entire 5 rounds. At first, it looked like TJ Dillashaw was going to knock him out in the first, but Barrow survived it, only to be dominated for the entire fight until he got knocked out in the last round.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but you're having a total dude moment right now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, UFC fighting.
He loves his UFC.
Yeah,
he loves it.
You're getting your moment right now, Mike.
Nothing is more manlier than watching two dudes in tight underwear getting it on, grabbing each other.
Hey, I watch WWE. I'm down with WWE.
This is real. This is real life. The only issue that I have with UFC is that no one smashes the Spanish announcer's table.
I missed that about WWE. It was always the Spanish.
It was always the Spanish
table.
There's no face paint either, or the Ultimate Warrior, or none of that.
Rest in peace.
Oh, he died?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Really?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Well, rest in peace.
Oh.
I actually love that guy.
A lot of people
You just
do.
ruined my night.
He died and the night after he was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, that's awesome for him. I mean, that was kind of,
What a nice way to go out.
nice way. Yeah, exactly. Nice way to go
So,
out. But actually, I did want to talk about, it's been really slow in movie news this week.
hence the banter.
Hence the banter, guys. It's all going to be edited down. It's fine. But one thing that I just popped up on my screen was the fact that Johnny Depp is said to be in talks to play the illusionist Harry Houdini in the upcoming film. So I'm actually a big magic, connoisseur. I love magic. I love Magic Castle. I love, Neil Patrick Harris. I love everything around that. David
He
Copperfield.
loves Magic the Gathering.
So that's just a little background on Jules. No, not Magic the Gathering.
He does.
No.
That's a lie.
But,
Magic missiles.
The film by Lionsgate and Summit will be called The Secret Life of Houdini, the making of America's first superhero. So that originally caught my eye. I was like, oh, America's first superhero. I think I like the spin they're taking on that. Apparently, it is rumored that he will be portrayed more as an investigator of the occult world, and the film's going to be kind of filmed a little Indiana Jones-esque. As far as Johnny Depp, not excited about that at all.
Is it going to be directed by Tim Burton?
Yeah, and Helena Bonham Carter is going to be in the movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
but anyways, that's the only real thing that kind of landed on my radar.
How can you not get enough of that Johnny Depp? We need to get more in depth with Johnny Depp. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, Jules?
No, I don't.
Yes,
I don't know what
you
you're
bet-
saying. I know. Hey, listen. Don't get me wrong. I love Johnny Depp, and here's another little tidbit. A little goth kid growing up. Everyone loved Johnny Depp and Edward Scissorhands, and his involvement with The Corpse's Bride and just Tim Burton in general. But yeah, I just he's becoming a character actor. He's a good actor, but he may be somebody that we need to sponsor in the future. Foreshadowing to what we might be talking about later in the podcast. Brandon, you have any news?
Yes, I do. I'm pretty excited about this one. Danny McBride, if some of you guys don't know him, he played Kenny Powers. And Eastbound and Down, played the greatest asshole of all time.
Oh,
it's a hilarious show. Went on for like 4 seasons. But now he's reteaming with his co-creator of Eastbound and Down, Jody Hill, about a show about vice principals. Exactly. So I think that's just going to be hilarious. It will just him just playing like a vice principal of a high school or something.
yeah,
like
I could see that.
Yeah, it's just going to be complete. It's going to be hilarious. So.
Yeah.
Number 2 in charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Having a power trip.
Yeah,
and
having
stuff.
a power
It's
trip.
just,
Exactly.
The dialogue is already.
It's already there.
It's already there.
Yeah, like the vice principal takes a day off and he just completely runs the entire. It's
Yeah.
going to be hilarious. So I can't wait for that one. Mike, you got some news, bro?
Yeah, actually, I saw this online. It looks like Sons of Anarchy casted Marilyn Manson in a reoccurring role for their upcoming final season.
Wow, reoccurring?
Yes,
Yeah.
reoccurring. So he plays Ron Tooley, a white supremacist prison shot caller who Jax uses to expand his power base. How he's utilizing this upcoming season, it's not known yet, but I'm just trying to get some of that Marilyn Manson, you know what I mean?
Yeah, again, as a little goth kid growing up, I had plenty of Marilyn Manson.
This should be
We get it. You were a goth.
Yeah,
all right.
I know. This podcast is learning a lot about this nerd this time around. But yeah, hey, man, his music is no good, so let's try him in acting. Jurassic World released some information this week.
I think they're going in the right direction for to kind of restructure this franchise, really.
Yeah.
The fact it's set, 20 years?
Yeah, 23 or 26. Yeah, 20 years.
20 years in the future.
And
from
also, it's actually a theme park that's running and operating.
Yeah.
So that was like, whoa, that's really cool.
there. Yeah, it's actually, and then it's more about the greed side of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he was talking about how, the economy, and you can see, the greed side of the theme park, and then, of course, you'll still have the dinosaurs kind of run amok.
I also heard that they were going to create a dinosaur for this one. Like the geneticists on the island actually make their own, Island of Dr. Moreau dinosaur. So that, that's really, I think that's pretty creative.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be like a T-Rex with long arms. It's going to be amazing.
the perfect killing machine.
The perfect killing machine.
Unstoppable.
Here's a T-Rex. Oh, we're cool. It has short arms. No, wait. Those are long arms. We gotta go.
Let's give it a thumb.
What? He actually grabbed me. Oh my god. So it's gonna be pretty great.
I want to be behind that logic behind those scientists who're just like, You know what this park needs? A new dinosaur.
Yeah.
Hey, let's just craft one up to all
Well, I
together.
think that's probably going to play into the whole like greed aspect of what Brandon was saying, that maybe people were getting tired of seeing dinosaurs. It's like seeing elephants or whatever. So the park needed like a moneymaker, and so this is their
Yeah.
moneymaker,
Are they still going to be in San Diego?
bringing it back around. Uh, Brandon, what did you think about X-Men: Days of Future Past? Now, here's the thing: do we want to give spoilers, or do we want to
It's already out.
refrain?
It's out.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Just fast forward to the next commercial break if you don't want to hear any spoilers. Or, you know what?
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. You've been warned about 7 times, so if you're still listening, you better brace yourself because you're just about to be spoiled.
Brace yourself.
The more I think about it, the more I think it's the best one for the type of story that they try to do. Because it's a very complicated story. Like even the director, Bryan Singer, had to consult James Cameron on the whole time travel part because he's getting confused about it. Like, how can we do
Because
something?
of Terminator.
Yeah, like how can we do something in the past that's going to affect the future, and going
Yeah.
back and forth like that. So,
You had to consult another director
Yeah.
for time
Hey.
travel, something that's made up.
Hey, here's the thing. If you're going to consult a director,
it's James Cameron.
You're gonna consult James Cameron.
about time travel.
yeah. If it was like, he needed to consult M. Night Shyamalan I'm like,
On how to make a
no.
bad movie.
No,
yeah. So that part, but overall, I thought the movie was great. If you haven't watched this movie, there's 2 movies you really have to watch: is the original X-Men movie and X-Men First Class to really get this
Like
movie.
bring it all together.
Yeah, to kind of
Yeah.
bring it all together.
To
Because
have-
they'll reference stuff from like First Class. They'll also reference stuff from the original X-Men movie. So you have to really know First Class.
It's kind of like when I was asking, or when people were like, "Oh, I haven't seen The Dark Knight Rises yet," and I go, "Well, watch Batman Begins and then watch The Dark Knight Rises. You can skip the Dark Knight because Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises."
Yeah,
kinda-
exactly.
yeah.
Kind of
They
connects a little
connect.
bit. Yeah. So that's the reason why you should watch First Class and then the original X-Men movie. Best part about the movie, hands down, is Magneto.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think so because he pretty much carried First Class. I thought he was
Mhm.
amazing in First Class, and I think he's great in this one. Like that is, if they do like a solo movie of just him, I will watch it because
Yeah.
he's just that much of a badass. And
No, yeah, I thought he was great. I thought he was really good.
yeah, I
Yeah.
thought, but overall, I thought everybody did great. The biggest surprise was Quicksilver. I thought it was going to be a lame ass character.
I know.
But-
But that's the thing. That was my favorite part.
Yeah,
of the
and that
movie.
like exactly that was my favorite part of the movie was his character, and when they had to break out Magneto out of the Pentagon, like
Yeah.
everybody thought he was just going to be a very lame character, and he ended up being like one of the best
Yeah.
things about that movie. Was that whole sequence was
Yep.
pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be surprising how they're going to do it at Avengers because also Quicksilver is
Right.
going to be in the Avengers.
Well, yeah. I liked the movie. I thought it was an excellent movie. And I was actually really surprised because I went in there with low expectations, but maybe that's probably why I liked it so much. But it surprised me. Quicksilver was the best part, I think, to me in the movie. The negative things I have to say about the movie is the fact that X-Men is kind of notorious for showing you a character, marketing a character, and then not showing you enough of the character in the actual movie. So I would have loved to have seen Quicksilver actually be brought in the way he was brought in, and used throughout. I've kind of gone back in my head and gone like, well, how would you have been able to use him? Because he has an amazing power and an ability. But he was the best part, and I really wanted to see more of him. So it was kind of like, man, typical X-Men. You bring up a character, and then you only see him for about 10 minutes of the movie.
I knew that from the beginning. Bryan Singer said he's only going to be in the minute for like
I know, but
10 minutes or so.
But yeah, even if you announced it beforehand, though, like I think that I don't know. That was my
For
only
me,
thing.
I think it was perfect for it because I feel like that would have been a cop out if we would have used more Quicksilver because you could have solved a lot of problems just using Quicksilver.
That's
like,
true.
oh,
Yeah.
just get that.
I know,
over
but
there.
that's what's so great about making a really good film is that you have a character like Quicksilver or like Nightcrawler, and you go, man, we're kind of in a pickle here because they can do a lot of stuff and they can solve a lot of problems. So let's make a better script, or let's make a better movie and challenge yourselves. And so, but I digress in the sense that it was a really good movie, and I rank it as probably one of the best X-Men movies out there right now.
Yes, and for those of you who feel on the fence about it, it does correct a lot of stuff that happens in X-Men: The Last Stand.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that in the last like 5 minutes of the movie. It'll totally correct. Like Last Stand never happened.
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Well, I think that was the sense going into this. Is
Yeah.
that in general, like X-Men: Last Stand is just a movie in itself that some douche decided to direct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys were going to list a marathon of X-Men movies to watch, how would you guys market it?
And including X-Men: Last Stand.
Including X-Men
So
Last
all
Stand.
the X-Men movies. If I'm gonna sit down and have a X-Men movie marathon.
Like if I had if I had no work for 2 days straight, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do anything today. How would what?
All right, I got that. I got this. Yeah.
Well,
You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I know where
You
you're
see
coming
where
from.
I'm coming from?
I know where you're
like,
coming from.
listen, like I have no response.
If I'm gonna plug the X-Men movies into like say a Star Wars format with episode 1 through 6, how would I want to enjoy the movies from beginning to end?
Correct.
I got that.
Or you can do it as like how he said it. Like, how about if you came to me and be like, I never seen the X-Men movies, I have all of them. How should I watch? And what order should I do?
Right.
it?
Yeah. Exactly.
For like a new audience.
Okay, I got that. Yeah.
Okay.
We can do that.
I think we're all saying the same thing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's just start the list.
Just to make it clear, if you want to sit down and watch the X-Men movies from beginning to end, okay.
Like,
So, Brandon, you want to go or do you want to go? You want me to go?
Go.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah.
Well, I would actually start with X-Men 1. You have to start with X-Men 1 because of it's the Genesis story. You know, it introduces the characters and it gets you to fall in love with a lot of the characters. I would go into X-Men 2 because it kind of fleshes out Logan's character as far as like who he's trying to be or who he's trying to discover himself. It also introduces Stryker, which I think from there I would probably go into Wolverine Origins because it's like, okay, you watch X-Men 1 and 2, and then you do a flashback with Wolverine Origins. So you see Stryker and you see where Logan came from and Weapon X and all that stuff. It still ends with, that movie still ends with Professor Xavier. So it's still kind of tying everything together. Then I would say it goes into X-Men 3. Now, I know that you can say that it's a standalone movie, but if I have to put it anywhere, I would put it after X-Men Origins. I just think that it paired well with the next movie, which is the Wolverine. I remember watching the Wolverine, and I remember thinking, I think this has, I think they talked about X-Men Last Stand in a sense because I think the beginning monologue with Wolverine, he mentioned something about all the shit that went down and whatnot. So I would go the Wolverine next after that. Also, that movie ends with Professor Xavier and Magneto standing together. I don't know if it was the post-credit scene.
Yeah, it was the post-credits.
It was post-credit scene. So you end with that. So then I would then leave that. I would take a break and then do like another like flashback / prequel to First Class. So now it's a fresh start. You're cleansing your palate. You're like, what's going on? You're reintroducing the characters. You're seeing Magneto when you're young. You're seeing, Professor Xavier when they're young. And I just think that after that, you can successfully go into X-Men Days of Future Past because it's a perfect closer for the X-Men franchise. It's bringing everyone together and you have a happy ending. So there you have it. How I would watch X-Men from beginning to end.
All right, very good, very very good. Nice list.
Yeah. By the way, Brandon, I'm right.
All right.
Before you begin,
You may be right, but I am the majority.
Call back.
You can't use that in a debate.
We're gonna design new shirts, and it's just Brandon's face, the majority.
All right. I like it. I like it. Now I'm gonna do it as I'm introducing somebody to the brand.
Okay.
I will start off with X-Men Origins or the Wolverine. Wolverine Origins because they don't know any better. They don't know how bad it can be, really. They don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, they really don't know. They'll just go.
So it's like you're dipping your toe in.
Yeah, so they'll just go into it and be like, oh, wow, that's a good movie because they don't know any better. So I'll start off with X-Men Origins with that one, and then I'll go into X-Men. Just because, you can introduce more characters. Because I feel like with the first one, with Wolverine Origins, you're introducing Wolverine, who's going to be the main character throughout this entire franchise.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get the sense of him of how he was before. So then I go into X-Men. because you already got the backstory, how he lost his memory and stuff like that. Um, and then what else after that? I was going to X2 because it's the direct sequel to X Men. It's pretty great, and you get to introduce
Yeah.
Nightcrawler to it. So
Oh my God, Nightcrawler,
that
probably one of my
intro
favorite X-Men.
was amazing. I'll go straight into X2. I go into X-Men 3. Get that out of the way.
Okay.
So I'll have the entire original franchise X-Men together. So
Okay.
they kind of follow each other. Especially from X-Men 2 to X-Men 3 because Jean Grey, quote unquote dies and kind of messes
yeah.
up.
What? What the fuck?
Spoiler alert. Yeah, and then
Fudge.
I'll go into the Wolverine
Okay.
because that's also kind of follows, like you said, the Last Stand because of how Wolverine just kind of leaves
Yeah.
because of the whole death of Jean Grey.
Mhm.
And then I will go into First Class because it starts all over. You kind of got the sense of the kind of friendship and enemies between Professor X and Magneto,
Mhm.
and then you get that sense of it in First Class. And then Days of Future Past, really, because
Yeah.
it's the best one. You should end it off with that one. So
And it off on a good note.
yeah, it does leave off on a good note. Kind of leaves off on a little cliffhanger if you kind of stay to the post credits because it'll introduce the next movie.
I don't think that's necessary. I mean, I will definitely watch X-Men Apocalypse, but I just think that this should have ended it. This should just have ended it, and then you just start from the beginning again. You cast all new roles and all new actors, but
I can see
hell,
that.
they have my money already. I'm
Yeah,
gonna watch
exactly.
X-Men
They have my
Apocalypse.
money already for it. I can see that. But if you're going to introduce, because let's be honest, with the X-Men movies, you haven't really introduced a very powerful villain to kind of test them.
Mhm.
I mean, you have your, Magneto, you have Stryker, but you haven't had like that villain who's just like, shit's gonna go down.
Yeah.
You never had that before in an X-Men movie. So I feel like with this one, you're gonna have it because it's gonna be great. Just like the Avengers 2 with the Age of Ultron. Ultron is far superior than every Avenger, there. So you're gonna have an actual like villain besides like Loki. That's gonna really test them. So that's what I'm gonna enjoy is like you're gonna have a villain that's gonna really test out the heroes.
And I mean, if the post-credit scene for X-Men: Days of Future Past, not going to say too much about it. I'm going to say I can live without it because
I could have
totally lived without it. So I really needed to use the bathroom, and I waited till that
Yeah,
moment, and I'm
exactly.
like, that says that I could have lived without it.
I could have lived without it. You know how much that scene probably costs? Like probably millions of dollars.
Right.
It looks like a lot of CGI.
There was a lot. Yeah, there was a lot going on.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like you could have done it without. Like you're just trying to. I understand you're trying to be like the whole Marvel universe type of thing. Like let's do a scene after.
Well, first I was like, oh, Stargate Part 2.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. This is X-Men.
I was like, what's up with all these pyramids? This is Transformers, Transformers 2 in Egypt again. So.
Right, yeah.
And that was the end of our spoiler. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. All right, well, that was a good little segment right there. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to introduce sponsoring an actor. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back, guys. As Mike D said before we went on break, we were going to sponsor a celebrity. What does that mean, you say? Well, every month we want to choose a celebrity that maybe hasn't had the best run of luck in Hollywood lately. Sure, they may be considered A-listers, but their recent films have ranged closer to the D-list. Mike, Brandon, and myself will have a roundtable discussion regarding one of our personal favorite movies by this actor, and I hope to convince those that have lost the faith to keep hope alive. Another reason why we call it Sponsor Celebrity is because we want your involvement. If you feel that someone that you like has gotten the Hollywood shaft lately, or maybe you have found yourself in a discussion with someone that just does not like the actor that you like, let us know and we will sponsor your celebrity on the air. just email us at two nerdsandAdude@gmail.com, or just send us a direct pic of your celebrity through the Instagram account. We will point out all the good we see in him and convince the rest of the world that they are still contenders in this wicked, wicked world that we live in. Anyways, that is sponsor celebrity. On to our celebrity, Brandon.
Our celebrity that we're going to bring up for the month is none other than the amazing Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Bill, what? Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
All right. So the reason why we chose Keanu Reeves was because, yeah, he does get a lot of flack for his movies and stuff, but he also makes great movies too at the same time.
Amen to that.
Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah, I know.
All the Matrix.
All the Matrix.
We sure you there's more.
Yeah, there's more. I just want to get out the title for it. Speed, Hardball.
I really liked him in A Walk in the Clouds.
Walk in the Clouds. Yeah, chick flick. Yeah.
Replacements.
Great sports movie.
Maybe not Chain Reaction.
I enjoy Chain Reaction.
Well, there we go. That's what we're talking about.
Bill and Ted, Excellent Adventure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
How can we forget that one?
Yeah, come on. He done so many great movies, and to be honest, if you don't really know about his life, he has had a really tough life. Really, his girlfriend suffered a miscarriage, and then right after that, she died in a car accident.
Bummer.
He still keeps pushing on. His sister, I believe, have leukemia. I could be wrong about that. She has a disease, and he pretty much been taking care of her his entire life.
So he's a good person.
He's a great person.
Yeah.
And
what movie, if you had to sit somebody down and say, hey, listen, you may not like Keanu Reeves, but you got to watch this movie.
Speed. Everybody loves that movie.
Of course, yeah.
Everybody's seen that movie more than one time. It's a great action movie.
Do you have a synopsis for those that haven't seen the movie? What it's
about?
If
you haven't seen that movie, you should not be listening to this podcast.
That's coming from the majority.
It's coming from the majority. Okay, the majority has spoken.
Well said.
Very simple plot. Pretty much, a madman put a bomb on a bus. If that speed limit drops below 50, it's gonna explode. And Keanu Reeves pretty much kind of goes on the bus, and
he's like a SWAT expert.
Yeah, he's a SWAT bomb expert on the SWAT team, and he pretty much goes on the bus and saves the day. Pretty much, it has Sandra Bullock, which was actually her first her breakout role. And she was literally at the bottom of the list. Oh. So many people turned it down. The movie was intentionally pitched for Jeff Bridges and Ellen DeGeneres.
Whoa!
Yeah. Wow. They wanted Jeff Bridges to be the serious cop and Ellen to be that comedic role thing, and they kind of turned it down.
Thank the maker.
I know, right? Thank the maker for that one. And they were kind of even hesitant about Keanu Reeves because he wasn't as big of a star as he was when that movie came out, I believe in 1994. But yeah, fantastic movie. Like words can't even express how many times I can watch that movie from beginning to end and never get bored of it. Dennis Hopper was amazing as the villain in it. I thought that was a fantastic choice for it. And tidbit for it, Joss Whedon actually did uncredited work on the script. So most of the dialogue you hear in the movie, Joss Whedon did it. If you don't know who Joss Whedon is, he is the director of the Avengers 2, or the Avengers. But yeah, that was a fantastic movie, and I thought that kind of brought Keanu Reeves out into.
Isn't there a quote? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Go ahead.
Isn't there a quote in that in the movie that is always quoted?
Pop question, hot shot.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Pop quiz, right?
Yeah, pop quiz, hot shot. You got a gun pointing. Yeah.
What do you do?
What do you do? It's a great movie, and I thought it just brought Keanu Reeves into a whole new light as an action star. Because no one really kind of like Keanu Reeves action star. You'd be like, what the really? Mm-hmm. But yeah, ever since then, he's been on a roll with action movies, in my opinion. Personally.
Yeah, no, ever since Speed. Well, there might have been one before that, but ever since Speed, I think that he can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite Keanu Reeves movie of all time. Mike, what's your favorite Keanu Reeves movie?
My favorite Keanu Reeves movie is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. I mentioned this in episode 1, Point Break. Yes. Yes. If you guys don't know what Point Break is, go kill yourselves. All right. This is the perfect action-packed Keanu Reeves movie. Basically, how it starts off, the main character, Johnny Utah, is played by...
Fantastic name.
Fantastic name. Here's the premise. Johnny Utah is a former Ohio State Buckeyes quarterback. Outstanding player. However, he suffers a career-ending knee injury and decides to, like, you know what? Can't play any active sports anymore. Let me go join the FBI.
That's a lateral move.
That's a very lateral move, like his knees.
Yeah.
Anywho, he goes, becomes part of the FBI, teams up with none other than Gary freaking Busey. So they team up together. They become partners to start investigating burglary or bank robberies from a game called The Ex-Presidents, where a group of masked bandits dress up as ex-presidents and just rob banks. And they're an entire adrenaline junkie, and the gang is led by a guy named Moby, which is played by Patrick, don't call it a comeback, Swayze.
Yes.
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 Awesome.
You thought he had moves in Dirty Dancing. This guy has moves everywhere you look. So in order to get to the bottom of this investigation, Johnny Utah goes undercover. And what better way to play a low-life degenerate than to become a beach bum / surfer? So he learns how to surf, infiltrates the gang. Turns out the ex-presidents, they're not that bad of a dudes. They just make horrible life choices. So he ends up befriending them. You know, he ends up being part of the crew. And then he gets to a point where Utah has to choose either his career or taking down one of the most notorious bank robbery gangs of all time.
Oh.
This movie has everything: skydiving, action, guns, Keanu Reeves,
midgets.
A cop that has to infiltrate a gang. That sounds like a familiar movie.
Fast and the Furious.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Same old story.
Same old story, played by Keanu. Anywho, this movie was amazing.
You are very passionate about it too. This is your favorite movie.
This is you don't understand, Jules. You don't understand. Like when I was younger, when I was just a wee bit little boy, I traded. I kid you not. I traded my VHS copy of The Lion King for this VHS copy of Point Break.
That should be on your biography. That pretty much sums up who you are, dude.
for a 10-year-old kid who just saw The Lion King, you know, it's a magical experience to like trade it in for Point Break.
Yeah.
On VHS. Had to hide that tape from the parents. Some interesting facts. Patrick Swayze was an accomplished skydiver and took part in most of the big skydiving scenes. Also, Keanu Reeves learned how to surf.
Still does it to this day. Also,
bam.
Little tidbit. He was also a ex-Ohio State quarterback in the movie The Replacements.
Ooh.
And they filmed the movie at the Baltimore Ravens stadium. He was actually so good at quarterbacking that the Ravens invited him to their tryouts. Yeah, for the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah,
Dang.
He turned it down, of course, but he was actually decent at quarterbacking.
Keanu, man, we are learning so much about Keanu Reeves.
And people talk bad about 47 Ronin. Come on.
Oh,
Come on. It wasn't that bad. 47 Ronin. You go in with like really low expectations. You leave like, it wasn't that bad of a movie.
Yeah, well, you know, actually going into this little bit, we were like, you know, we should probably sit down and watch 47 Ronin, the last Keanu Reeves movie, just to get an overall general idea of his careers and,
turned out to be a good idea,
Turned out to be a good idea.
Not helping us, Keanu, but we're here to help you.
Maybe not the movie so much, but hey, we're here to talk good things about Keanu Reeves.
Jules.
All right. Well, if I'm going to sit down anybody and say, you need to watch a Keanu Reeves movie, man, it's so hard, but I'm going to have to say The Underdog Matrix Reloaded. That's right. Not Matrix 1, not Matrix 3, Matrix Reloaded.
Why the second one?
Why the second one? Because it was super hyped, and it was also super criticized because I think it was super hyped. Pretty much, anyways, long story short, Matrix Reloaded takes place 6 months after the events depicted in The Matrix. what makes I think this movie so awesome are just the epic fight scenes. You know, the chateau brawl and the awesome freeway chase scene with the twins and Morpheus fighting on top of that truck, and just it's just so cool. And the I mean, sure, it was super bad CGI, but it was also super cool choreographed fight scene with Neo and the millions and millions of agents that he fought in the park. And so I don't know, it's just everything overall as far as action you get in The Matrix Reloaded. I also storyline. Everyone thought that The Matrix Reloaded was going to follow a script and say, okay, it's just going to be based in the Matrix and it's going to revolve around the computers and stuff like that. And I commend the Wachowski brothers for breaking out of that mold and saying, no, it's actually going to be different. We're going to base it more on a spiritual sense, and we're going to, make Neo not only the one, but the one and
Messiah.
the Messiah. Yeah. And I mean, there was definitely a lot of religious elements that were
future Jesus.
Yeah, and predominantly Christian, because a lot of the names and terminology that they use is direct from the Bible. So I don't know. Maybe that's why also a lot of people disliked it, because maybe it wasn't that original of a story. Because you just read the Bible and you got it right there.
Jesus comes back and dodges bullets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I just thought it was amazing. Also, it also came out during a time that it was paired with the Animatrix. So watching the Animatrix and watching all those side stories, I'm not big on animation, but it was an excellent pairing. Little less known fact was Sean Connery was picked to play the architect, but turned it down because he did not understand the script at all.
Understandable.
Which completely makes sense.
You're gonna give me lots of money.
Also, another good thing about Keanu Reeves is that it was reported that he volunteered to give up a claim to a share of ticket sales amounting to about $38 million when producers feared that this film wouldn't recoup the costs because of all the awesome special effects that were in it. So again, a guy that believes in a movie and says, you know what, take some money away from me because you need to pay for how awesome this movie is. Not so much of a cool fact, but GM donated about 300 cars because they were used in the movie and they were completely destroyed. And so,
didn't GM also recall 300,000 cars?
Yeah, probably. And also the role of Seraph was originally written specifically for Jet Li, but Jet Li wanted to get paid as much as Keanu Reeves, and you know what?
Ain't happening.
Not gonna happen. You're not the one.
Nah.
So he didn't get it, and they gave it to somebody else.
You're the third. You're
Yeah.
the fourth.
Yeah. So then he went off and made his own movie, The One, or whatever.
I actually enjoy that movie.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. Yeah. But,
Jet Li, is he the next? No.
I don't know. I just think that Keanu Reeves overall, I'm a fan. I've met people that are like, oh my God, he's a terrible actor and this and that. And you know what? Okay, he's maybe not be the best actor, but the roles that he's chosen, I feel I've enjoyed. Whether it's a romantic comedy or whether it's just a romantic movie, to action-packed movies like Point Break and Speed and Matrix Reloaded, to movies like 47 Ronin that, maybe wasn't the best.
Dracula.
Yeah, there you go. But
you say he's a terrible actor, but guess what? The man has been working since the early 80s.
You do work.
Consistently.
The man is getting paid.
Has been consistently working since the early 80s, all right? So, feeling like Keanu Reeves, screw you, man.
You didn't like Constantine? I'm getting money.
Yeah.
He's making it rain out there on his surfboard.
Grinding on the ones.
But I'm just if you're also listening to this podcast and you go, you know what, I don't really hear you guys out. I really don't like Keanu Reeves. That's fine. But we hope that you give those movies that we mentioned a second look, and I think you might walk away with another opinion.
Listen, we here at Two Nerds and a Dude, we fully endorse and support and sponsor Keanu Reeves. That's our opinion. If there's an actor that you may think like, hey, you guys should give him a second chance, send us an email. Give us an email at 2nerdsandAdude@gmail.com, or even just send us a pic on Instagram at 2nerdsandAdude. We'll definitely consider it. We'll put it under review, and if we like your suggestion, we'll talk about it. We'll go ahead and give him a chance.
We will examine it up and down, left and right.
No Pauly Shore. I'm putting it out there. No.
Well, on that note.
Well, that sums up this week's episode of Two Nerds and a Dude. Follow us on Instagram. Email us at twonerdsandAdude@gmail.com. Give us your feedback, suggestions, recommendations, death threats, whatever. we want to hear from you guys. We're trying to establish ourselves. We're continuing to grow. We love you guys. We enjoy doing this, and we look forward to hearing from you
I
guys.
kind of like you.
Baby.
Take care. Until next week.
Extreme ways are back again. Extreme places I didn't know. I broke everything new again. Everything that I'd owned. I threw it out the windows, came along. Extreme ways I know will part the colors of my sea. Perfect color me. Extreme ways that helped me out late at night. Extreme places I had gone, but never seen any light. Dirty basements, dirty noise, dirty places coming through. Extreme worlds alone. Did you ever like it, Pam? I would stand in line for this. There's always room in life for this.